Hello and welcome once again to Bullet Journaling for Chaos Gremlins. I hope everyone had a really good weekend. I had kind of a weird weekend myself. I wasn't feeling well. Let's just summarize it with that and leave it from that point. If you, can you even see it? No, good, okay. So I have a rash on my wrist and I'm glad you can't really see it on camera. That's a cat scratch. I wanted to reassure people that I don't have the plague or anything. It's just, I don't know, I reacted to a soap. Life with allergies, gotta love it. Hey, Kit, good to see you. Oh, and thank you for the compliments on the opening. The music at the beginning was, what is it called? It's from Sirenscape. And I don't know, the track just says musicians play for mead. So, friendly tavern music was the idea. Never mind my cat. I don't know why he's howling. That's Scooter, doing his thing. If you're new to this program or the channel, Scooter is my very old man cat. He's either 17 or 18 years old, and he's an orange cat, and he's very much about the get off my lawn energy, and he would like to go outside now. So how's it going, Kit? I haven't seen you in an age. Yeah. You get a Dice Shop package saying Diane Morrison, it's for me. Well, thank you, James. That's awesome. I agree that as far as I'm concerned, 2025 starts in February, so you'll be right on time if you're starting your journal. I mean, you can always go with the Lunar New Year, right? This month has been the longest year in forever. I figured you had to be working. I figured. It says I'm in an ad break. I hope that, I'm responding to people who can hear me. All right, so today, what I thought I would get into is, I want to talk a little bit about the social community. Oh, now the ads are starting, of course. If it's the soap, you could be allergic to lanolin. I know I'm allergic to lanolin, actually, but this did not say it had lanolin in it. I cleaned, okay, so as part of the, house cleaning project sparked by my journaling efforts here, right? No, that's not this journal. The long-term journal has the master list of chores, right? Hey, Faye! Hello! But so as part of the project, I cleaned up the bathroom, right? And as a result, I threw out a bunch of shit. We talked about this, how I excavated the craft cupboard, right, in order to use it for my journaling supplies, and cleaned off a whole bunch of, detritus from like 25 years of soap scum, and, threw out a bunch of crap that was in the thing, right? So I had this soap that is the same brand as the regular moisturizer that I use. It's a body wash, right? And I'm like, okay, I kept this because I figured somebody would use it, but nobody's using it, so I either have to use it or throw it out. Well, what the hell? I've already got a hormonal breakout going on, so I might as well try it now, right? So I tried it, and the first day I tried it, it was fine, and then I took a bath the next day, and it was not fine, so do not overuse. I guess I'm allowed to use that once a week. Allergies, it's like that. Such a pain. Yeah, lanolin is in a lot of soaps because it's really good for your skin, right? It moisturizes, it's soft, but yeah, a lot of people are allergic to it. I am allergic to it. If you are allergic to wool, you are probably allergic to lanolin. So, yeah, lessons learned. This is the first time on the Handy stream. Definitely a different experience. Yes, because we're focusing on the book, right? And what I'm doing with the book, not my face. So, yeah. It is different, isn't it? Okay, so I wanted to talk about a couple of things today. The first thing I'm going to talk about is that there is a bullet journaling community out there, and I tend to be shy, right? So it takes me a while to get involved in things, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to check it out. So I did a couple of things. One is I signed up for a journaling feed on Blue Sky and started talking to people on there, right, and discovered junk journaling. as different from bullet journaling. And since I know most of my audience is my regular community, and you guys are new to a bunch of this, right? Junk journaling is when you take other things and make them into books, right? And I guess Danny Adventures does it. I had to look it up. I'd never heard of it. So it's cool, right? It's like the ultimate recycling and reuse project. Ultimately, the books are beautiful works of art, and you can find them on Etsy and people buy them. I don't know that many of them, some of them would just not be practical for the kind of writing that I do in it. But if you're like keeping poetry or something like that, I think it would be awesome. I don't know, to each their own, right? I'm not, I'm just saying for me, right? But yeah. Oh, aloe vera. Aaron was allergic to aloe vera for a long time and he grew out of that weirdly. But yeah, and you're right, it's in everything, just like lanolin. Right. Okay, so yeah. So anyway, that was one thing I did. And the other thing I did was I joined the Joshi Korin Discord server. And it's really a nice little community. So if you guys want to check that out, like the link is on her YouTube channel. And there's a lot of really nice people there. A couple of other journaling streamers or, YouTubers. Doesn't seem to be a lot of journaling streamers on Twitch, right? But on YouTube, there's plenty. And this was like Rhyme Art and BuJo, I think she calls her channel. Rye as in the rye bread, me as in MI, right? I really like her. I discovered her through another Joshi Korin video, right? She does these, like, I don't know exactly where she is, but she's Slavic, right? So she's in one of those, I wish I were better at recognizing the accent. My Polish ancestors were turned over in their grave, but, I love the sound of her voice and I love her layouts. She has that, like, the aesthetic is sort of that combination of dark and bright that she tends to use. I think it's really pretty, the stuff that she does. So another person to check out, right? So she was there. The moderators are really friendly. People are chatty. There's a voice chat that goes on a regular basis in Australian morning, generally. So Sable has been avoiding going on voice chats, especially late at night. So I have not joined that recently yet, but, at some point. Right, at some point. So that's really kind of cool. So there's a whole community out there, people sharing ideas, right? We were discussing things like, how does a Typhossi journal compare to an Archer and Olive journal, right? What materials do you like to use? What fixes do you have for this problem, right? There are other people who done gold leafing that I wish I'd talked to before I did. But, that's me. I'm going to jump in with both feet and give everything a try and screw it up and do it again. So it's okay. So, my sympathies with Flub, who was very unhappy with what she did with her January layout. Fine. It's fine. Yeah, start over again in February. That's what I would do. You can start laying it out now and planning ahead. Speaking of which, I'm going to show you some of what I have done to lay it. Oh, I finally did some long form journaling. Haha. I didn't think I was going to use this month, and I was very, I was disappointed because I really liked my layout for this. So I was like, but anyway, my daily journal stuff here, but, yeah, okay. So far in the February project, right, I showed you guys this last time, and my epic fail cover here. I got my calendar set up. It's ready to go. I did my extra credit and my month at a glance so far. This is the end result of the calendar pages, the weekly log. So, as you can see, there's already some things coming up. I was pretty happy with this. This is gold acrylic paint. Yeah, I think you found her, Flub. Yeah, she's great. This is a new thing I'm trying. this is based on the stuff that Faye's been doing with her planner, right? She's been talking about tracking when she sleeps. This is not something I've been doing, right? You guys know this layout by now, this spread. This is familiar to you, tracking the amount of time that I sleep and the naps. I've not been napping a lot, right? This is going to track when. I'm just curious because I'm kind of trying to get my hours straightened around to kind of a regular schedule. It's been hard because I haven't been feeling well. This is so far just a gold glitter pen. I might go over it with a light covering of acrylic paint. Yeah, Faye is tracking a lot of things, but sleep is one of them. Yes, as you can see, I've got my sticky notes here still laid out for where I'm going to do different things. This is what I did with this. This was that gold acrylic, the gold glitter pen, right? But I find it's very yellowish, so I also went over it with a light coat of acrylic paint to do the kintsugi theme. Again, you guys have seen this layout before. This is the spread before. This is my exercise tracker and my sun lamp tracker. I do wish my pre-made one did come with mood like you make for you. You know, you might be able to like Franken journal it. You could I've seen people do that. You can make a page and tape it in there with washi tape, right? And then you can, yeah, exactly. You can make alterations. So yes, I just did this last night. This is a new washi tape, and I'm going to show you guys that too because I'm very happy with these washi tapes. They make me so pleased. This took some effort, the gold leaf, to make it all line up. I had to redo it a couple times, but I did it. It worked eventually because I'm stubborn. So, oh, and I have a line there of white I gotta cover, but yes, that's this time, remember I said, okay, I have my, where is it here? Okay, my familiar productivity trackers. Remember, I said that I was trying out the waterfall tabs. I like them. They are actually very practical for the various trackers I'm using in this section, as well as really pretty, right? So, once again, idea from Joshi Koren and Grimy Art, actually. So, but what I did is this is the different areas in which I've been productive, right? And this is, what did I mean by productive, right? So these are the various areas in which I've been productive, and this is the, overall rating of how productive I've been, right? I was doing really good till this weekend. Anyway, all the little snowflakes are I kicked butt. This weekend was a write-off. Yeah. As you can see, 3 days of no work. So, yeah, I mean, I guess I deserve a day off every once in a while, but man, I just could not get my crap together this weekend. Anyway, right, but why did I do this? I put it on opposite sides, right? And I'm finding that I'm filling this out in order to get an idea of what my rating of this should be. Because my theory is, unless I've got a pretty broad spread here, right, in terms of what I've done, I don't deserve a big mark for that, right? So, because what do I consider productive? And it turns out, dirt on my hands again, but it turns out that I have absorbed the capitalist ethic of basically it has to be work that could potentially result in fundage, and it doesn't count unless it's that. And I think that's bullshit, and I'm trying to get over it, right? So this is a broad spread of, this is the exercise, self-care, social, work, domestic, usually means I clean something. Adulting, dealt with the paperwork, outside world, making appointments, all the crap, right? You can tell how I feel about this. Hygiene and relationships. Yeah. So, so the half ones are yeah, okay, you did some stuff in that area, but, you weren't that great. And the blank is for, absolute failure, right? So, yeah. Okay, so this is inconvenient, right? So I decided that I was going to do that differently for February. So I switched places and I put the exercise and sun lamp trackers here. And then this is just my productivity spread, right? So fill the same areas out here, rate it here, right? Now, again, I'm doing cyclical planning, so my cycle goes from the 1st of February to the 2nd of March, and then my next cycle starts on the 3rd of March. Other than that, I don't think I've done a lot in here so far other than made some plans. This is a layout of, there's an event that goes on in my town called the Vernon Winter Carnival, right? We never go, right? Maybe we make the parade. That's about it. So we've made a list of things that we might want to go to. Jamie and I talked about it. Most of these are like low cost or no cost. And that way we can plan ahead to which ones we want to attend, right? I'm not entirely happy with my order for things. I may rearrange it a few times. Right? I found one thing that I've had trouble finding in the way I have laid it out for February, or for January rather, not February, is my daily gratitude and daily wins. Because where did I put them? I put them in kind of a weird spot, right? I think I thought about it after the fact, so I put it here, right, after my daily logs and writing notes, and I found that that is not a good idea because I've missed it a couple of times and then had to think about it. Right, like I did this, you can see I have little arrows there because I'd missed a day and had forgotten I'd missed a day, so then I had to go back to my notes and think about it. Anyway, right, so this time I've put it after all the trackers. I really should not have put this in where I put it. I suppose I could cut it and move it around, but I'm going to try not to do that. So I've put it here before all the journaling and hopefully, and right after the writing notes and adulteress. So hopefully I will be able to find that more easily. So that's long-term, long-form journaling space, and then the daily log starts here, right, where I write about, at least that's my plans for it. The cleaning page, that's new, and the help desk. Now I've talked about the help desk. Let's go back to what I did in January to show you those. Okay. Yes, okay. So this is the help desk, right? This was an idea I got from Mark Your Pages. Right? He does a podcast with Joshi Corin, which is how I discovered him, called Planner Pals, where they discuss different topics in bullet journaling, both from their, experience and acquaintance, right? Yeah, the event is a one-off. It will not, it's not happening again in March. So I may reconfigure things in March. I'm still experimenting and learning, and that's the thing that I love about this particular pastime is that you can do that, right? You can play with it. You can do different things. But help desk is basically, this is a list of contacts and that I made about different things. Like this is, the plumber, the pharmacy, the, outside stuff like that. This is all about, generally stuff to do with Game of Tomes. Who did I talk to about what project? I need to catch up on some stuff with this, but you get the idea. I'm finding this very helpful because then I can look and go, because time is a weird soup, right? So I forget when the last time was I talked to somebody about whatever, right? So I make notes, and that way you don't let too many days go by before I discuss things, right? I'm also planning ahead, work nights now and my games, and I'm getting much better at making appointments. I had a catastrophic failure on the weekend though. ADHD, it's a hell of a drug, right? So This is my cleaning spread because you guys saw last week how I showed you the whiteboard, how we're dealing with daily and weekly tasks, which reminds me I have not yet changed that for today, and I need to do the weekly rewrite, so that's what I'm going to do as soon as the stream's done. Okay, but this is keeping track of the bi-weekly and monthly tasks that need to be done. And, there's these little boxes here that you can kind of barely see. Because this is bi-weekly, I'll want to be checking that off twice in the course of the period, the cycle, which is roughly monthly, right? And then once here in the course of that. So this is memories that I want to keep. This is going to be like a regular feature now, and I tend to have sticker books with a lot of really nice, stickers to write things down on, so I'm probably going to keep doing that. There's some gold spacey ones that I'm going to use for February. So, yeah. Anyway, that's new stuff. It's working out really well for me. So that's stuff that I am planning for these areas here, right? That's where the cleaning tracker will go, and that's the help desk area. And then brain dump, because remember I said that I skipped it 1 month, December, because I wasn't using it, and then I really missed it. So I put it back. This is a weird place to put memories. I think I'm going to switch this around. I don't, this is tentative because I'm going to add a new thing. You remember how I had Nat on the stream a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to her about her reading journal that she's putting together. And one thing I'm going to do, Dutch door, that's why I decided to do that. Screw it. One thing I'm going to do is make a year in books spread. Oh, I see what I did. Why was I making a Dutch door there? I don't even remember now. I think I just wanted to make a Dutch door because they're pretty. I don't know. Dutch doors, of course, being where you cut the page so that it's not quite the, so that it's a different shape and size, like I did with this stuff, right? These are forms of Dutch doors, even though they're waterfall tabs, because they lay in a sequence, right? But I don't know. I don't remember what I was doing here. What I wanted to do was make a spread that basically drew a bookshelf, right? I've seen this now in a couple different versions, and then track which books I have read by putting the title of the book on the spine of the image and then coloring it in as I went, right? And, I kind of like that thought, but I think I'm still rethinking how I'm going to do it. I want, though, I think if I put my memories here, I would not flip to it much. I would be I think it was a compromise that I was coming up with because I had an idea for a Dutch door. Anyway, these are the last few pages that I plan to do for February's cycle, so I probably will rethink it a few times. But that's my current plan. So this is where I'm going to put my projects and goals. That worked out really well for me this month. That's another thing. Remember how I was humming and hawing about projects and goals, and I don't know what my goals are, but my goal is try not to die, right? That's my goal. I'm at the level of trying to get my shit together. What do you mean goals, right? Life is going to screw it up if I try to plan too far ahead, right? Yeah, okay, so I actually did commit to trying to do a few things specifically this month, and I'm not doing too bad, right? I finished A Tonesmith Carol. I have started publishing The Fate of the Night King to Patreon. The part 3, the last part, comes out tomorrow. Join the God Patreon. Haha. Okay. I have been working on recording my audiobook when I have had quiet, right? I got my taxes dealt with. I got my phone dealt with. Right? I still haven't done these tax interviews for Amazon and Twitch. I don't know why I'm avoiding them. I think I just really hate signing in with the 2-factor authentication. Right? I'm on track with this one, which is post at least one audiobook chapter to my personal Patreon every week. Join my Patreon. I've got the January journal setup done. Obviously, I'm well into working on the February setup. I finished the January cupboard cleaning project. All my cupboards are cleaned out, right? I am not going to get this one done. Finish 50K team up. I'm not going to get it finished. There's too much animating. It's too complicated. Again, I'm working with a smaller staff than expected. I am going to have to postpone that one to, and that'll be a February goal, right? Migrate it. I have not yet done this with make a list of the professionals and organizations to try to get my disability sorted. Probably that's also a task I've been avoiding, and I should probably, make myself do it and try to at least write my streak every day. I have tried. I'm succeeding about 80% of the time. So, all right. Yeah, and that's kind of, a point about where I'm at and what I'm doing with things. This is my writing tracker. I did a lot more audio-visual editing, so I guess it's my creative project tracker, really. I've done a fair bit of editing. I'll be doing some more tomorrow, right? Drafting, I have not done a great deal of. I have been doing the audiobook, so. Oh, yes, I've also decided I really, really, really like this. Now, this is remember that I was talking about this last week. This is this is a basic bullet journaling method spread. And for a weekly log to keep track of, appointments, things you want to get done. There's the key. This is almost exactly like the standard bullet journaling spread, except that instead of an X for a task done, I have used a check mark because my brain, it tends to go, X, that means wrong, right? No, a check means you did it. Good for you. So, because my brain, that's why I did that. And there was something else for a priority, but I'm using a star because I always have, right? So, I like this format because I rarely lose projects anymore. Sometimes they might all get migrated to the next day or a couple days later, but they'll get done eventually because I'm not losing them. This is awesome as far as I'm concerned. So love it. All right. Yeah. All right. I've been babbling for a while. Quill says, I've been wanting to use the same system you use at home, marking which ones got missed one day and which ones have been repeatedly missed, and making sure that I do those tasks first. Exactly the priority thing that I was doing, that I'm still doing with the cleaning projects. Oh, I missed that one yesterday, so today gets a star. That means it has a priority, right? That way you stop procrastinating some of the harder tasks. Exactly, right? I find that too. You know what? Maybe I should also start incorporating that in here. You've migrated that 4 times, Sable. Maybe you need to actually, just do it? Good thinking. Good thinking. I like where you're going with that. Yeah. Doing pretty well on my self-care bingo this month. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So, oh yes. This is fun. I had to invent a new symbol this month. So that should be Shark Week, except that it's been Shark 2 weeks, because for some reason I'm doing this weird spotting and cramping thing. This is likely because I'm 49, and you know what? Menopause is probably starting. So, but it's been a real pain in my butt. I'm not impressed by this. Right? Looking forward to this being over. What do I mean by a new symbol? I have a pink drop now instead of a red one. The meaning should be obvious, right? And the pink one is for, it's spotting, but it doesn't really count as a period, right? So, annoying. And you know what? I know perfectly well, right, that if I go to my doctor's just going to say, that's perfectly normal perimenopausal stuff. You're 50 now, right? And so, And then there'll be a discussion about hormone therapy, which I'm not sure I want because there's all kinds of drawbacks to that. And I figure I'll just take herbs and live with it. And if it's still going on in a week, I'll go to the doctor then, you know? Also, it could have something to do with the fact that I changed which of the okay, so as you know, I'm taking herbs for managing stress better, right? They're called adaptogens in the herbal world, right? And the herbs I'm taking for that are ashwagandha and holy basil. But you're not supposed to take either one of them for longer than 2 months at a stretch because we don't know what, like, there's some indications that if you take too much or for too long, there can be liver damage, right? The studies are still ongoing. So I switch them every 2 months, right? And I just recently switched from ashwagandha to holy basil. Ashwagandha is kind of a progesterone enhancer, and it's like ginseng a bit and just not quite as strong. If you're, you know, we'll say biological sex female, because gender is, your personal gender is very different, but and that's a separate thing, but it messes with feminine hormones basically, right? So that this started about that time, so I'm thinking maybe that probably has something to do with it. So, meh. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. I don't know, probably TMI, but this is kind of this is the kind of stuff that I'm tracking, and that's what this stream is all about, right? Is to show you guys what I'm doing, and then maybe you guys get ideas and I can, do feedback about this worked for me, this didn't work for me, So. All right. I have not yet checked off my meds tracker for the day. That's what I wanted to do with that anyway. So we'll move on to the next topic. I made a list of things in my brain dump that I want to talk about on this stream. And there's quite a few. So, oh yeah, okay. So here's a couple things that I've learned in the course of the past couple of months, right? One thing is that I should write down even the most routine tasks. The reason why is because sometimes when you are using a routine to maintain track of things, when something happens that messes with the routine, it can throw everything off, right? Like, for example, suppose Jamie gets sick and he doesn't go to work for a day or two, right? Then I'll forget that it's Friday and now I have to pick him up, right? So, and I haven't been writing down it's time to pick up Jamie on Friday because I have a light alarm that goes off to let me know when it's time to get ready to leave. And the second is that it's an everyday thing. It's like, remember to breathe, come on. Right? So, but I've learned that if I don't write that down, then when my routine gets disrupted, then I can forget even the most routine tasks. So do that is the message I got. I'm glad it's not just me, JC. Hello. ADHD, it's a hell of a drug. What can I say? Right? So, yeah, good to know it's not just me. Okay, and the second thing is that because I've been tracking, like my mood log and sleep log and mental health symptoms and whatnot, I was able to discern a cold when I was coming down with it because I noticed a change in routine, right? Like I was really sore and my sleep was a mess and more than usual, and it was just random. It kind of started like suddenly and a bunch of stuff like that. And it turns out that I was getting a cold. I noticed the symptoms of coming down with the cold longer than the cold lasted. Like the cold lasted a day and a half, right? But I noticed symptoms of coming down with the cold like 2 or 3 days in advance because I was tracking this stuff. So extra bonus, guys. Hey, Satrium, good to see you. Faye says, it is a hell of a drug, speaking to ADHD. The problem is it isn't always a good one. Oh, I know, right? Sometimes it's great, but sometimes not so much. You know, Faye doesn't notice Faye is coming down with something until someone else tells her. Yeah. Well, that's, yeah, pretty much me neither. Right? We talked about already how I took the bullet journaling tracking stuff and applied it to the house chores. Update on that, by the way. The family is still on board. The house is still clean. It's stunning. I have struggled with trying to get this shit organized for years. Literally years. And it is finally working. I am so happy with it. Yeah, I like the weekly log. I talked about that. Right? Okay. And the different social groups that I joined. Gold leafing. Okay. Yeah. Gold leaf. Okay, so if you're going to try gold leafing, first of all, this is what I will tell you as a noob. It's a pain in the ass. That's the first thing I'm going to tell you. It's very fidgety. Be prepared to have, like, stuff to clean up. The homemade glitter is free. You're going to end up with basically homemade glitter, these little gold flecks that get everywhere. I've still got some on my floor. There's still some on my desk. I've cleaned it a few times. You can use regular glue to adhere it, but don't, because regular glue will, it dries hard, it cracks and breaks. So whenever I turned the page, I was losing some of the gold, even though I had tried to seal it. And remember, I'm using fake gold too in pieces that I got from the dollar store. So it's, you know, it's not the high quality stuff, right? But use Mod Podge instead. Mod Podge does not dry hard. It's soft, and it also works as a sealant. That is ultimately what kept this stuff together. I wish I'd started with that. This probably would look a lot neater, but first attempts. You learn, you live. I'm not gonna, you know, I'm not ripping out the pages to start over. It's fine, right? So, is it as spectacular as what some other people have been doing this a long time have done? No. But this is bullet journaling for chaos gremlins. We're muddling through, right? So, fine. Right? So a lot of people have like little tweezer things to handle that kind of stuff, and I'm considering getting it, but so far I was able to do it with my fingers, right? The reason why I used regular glue and Mod Podge is because the dollar store where I got the gold leafing stuff did not have the proper adhesive. I now know where to get the proper adhesive. You can order it online, right? I could have probably gone to Michael's and gotten it, but I didn't want to drive to another town to just pick up some glue, right? So, also, when I do an art project, I want to do it now. I have no patience, right? So, that's probably also the ADHD. So I was unwilling to wait for like a week to go into Kelowna to pick up adhesive. So, but Mod Podge will work. So, there's my advice to you. And you may have to do touch-ups. This here was difficult. I had to, what I ultimately did, as you can see, I designed this to look like it was one piece, and then the pages come up from there, right? What I had to do was take a craft knife, an X-Acto blade, and separate the gold leaf and adhesive at the different ribbons. But it worked, or the different tapes, but it worked. So, yeah. Yeah, Kit says, yeah, I remember when I had an art project a couple years ago and ended up making a tarot deck by hand. Yes, because you're not going to wait, damn it. Because you have to do it now, because ADHD. Yeah, I get it. So, yeah, there's my thoughts about how to handle that. Okay, now I get to show you all the pretties. So it's not exactly an unboxing because I have no patience and I unboxed it when I got it because it was, it was Christmas time, okay? Leave me alone. It was Christmas time. My brain is 5. I had to open the presents, okay? But I will show you. Right. Aaron was busy. He got me a bunch of washi tapes. Let's see here. Some of them are in a bag here, and I want to put them in the box before I show you the box because it's so pretty to just look at the box with all the pretty washi tapes. Just that went there. I pulled out the ones that I'm actively using now, you see. So, all right. So, first things first, I don't remember if I showed you guys this set or not. This is a... Oh, okay. No, you know what I need to do? I need to get my long-term journal. 1 second. Okay, so long-term journal. You guys have seen this, right? You may remember, or the tabs are new. What the tabs are for is I got this idea, I don't know where, somebody else again online talking about their ideas about it, but I swatched my washi tapes like it was a, series of pens. What I did is I started at the back. Oh, this is my washi graveyard. This is a project. I was talking about this with Duo Chan Fan, how last week, how some people will take the last little bit of their washi tapes and put them in a washi graveyard or, use them for another project to decorate. And I thought, you know what? That's kind of fun just for the prettiness. But I also thought, haha, I can remember where I got this in case I want to use it again. And I really, really liked this tape. We're in ads. Okay. I'm going to take a sip of coffee then and do some delaying. Let me know when we're back. Yeah, but basically, I guess I'll talk about how I really liked this tape while I'm waiting for the ads to finish. I thought this had a very, Russian pottery kind of look to it, and I used it heavily both in my December layouts because I thought it had kind of a, Christmassy without being in your face Christmas look. And I used the last of it in the early part of my layout for February because like I said, it's got a bit of a pottery look. So, okay, we're back. Thank you. It's great. So this is the washi graveyard. So far I've used up 2. The other one looked basically like a gold Christmas ribbon. I wish I'd saved it, but I did not. But now I know what I'm doing. So then I decided basically I'm going to lay out all of my tapes with enough of a section that you can see the whole pattern, right? And I'm going to cut it wherever the pattern starts to repeat. So this is why there's different sizes. This was that little set that I got from Michael's. This was my first washi tape set. We have this here because these designs, that's a gemstones, that's crescent moon, that's a hand with sparkles coming out of it, and that's a butterfly, right? So, this of course is zodiac constellations, right? I wanted you, the moon phases. You needed to be able to see enough of the tape to see the whole design as far as I was concerned. So I don't like all this blank space, but I'm sure I will use it up later by adding individual washi tapes. This was, so that's called the Dark Rainbow set. This is the Celestial Crafting set that I got from Michael's. I Really love these. These feel nice too. Oh, and this was cool. I discovered this looked like a green tape with a purple undertone on the roll. And actually, I think I have that one handy. I can show it to you what it looks like on the roll. This is one reason why, or another reason why you might want to swatch your washi tapes, right? Because that's what that looks like on the roll, right? You can see it's got iridescent green and purple, but it showed primarily green, right? But here on the paper, it looks mostly purple with a green undertone. And if you look closely, you can see, and it's not the only one, quite a few of these, you can see the lines through them. They are semi-transparent. They are translucent. This one is more transparent than most. And I'm like, oh, now that gives me different ideas for what to do with that particular washi tapes. Oh, how to use washi tapes correctly. Okay, we will get into that as soon as I am finished showing you my swatches. That's a very good question, Faye. Awesome. Cannot wait to get into it. Okay, so this is the Typhossi Galaxy set. I love these so much with all the different stickers, right? Notice that there's a really long, like this is the same section of tape. It's a long enough section of tape. That's one thing you're going to find, okay? To some degree with washi tapes, what you get is what you pay for, right? The good sets tend to have tapes with, you know, like none of this does not repeat for that whole section. This is where I started doing this. I started, it takes up the whole spread. So I'm cutting it on a diagonal when I have to in order to make it fit, but that way you can see where the break is and realize that these are one strip with no repeats. Can you believe this is all one strip with no repeats? This looks like a, like it would be just kind of, but it's very mixed up and random. Like there's these elements repeat themselves, but in completely different orders. Fascinating, right? I thought it was just the coolest shit. So I highly recommend these guys. Also, these guys did me a solid, right? We ordered this during the postal lockout here in Canada, and therefore they couldn't ship them, and they refunded our money, but apparently they shipped them anyway as soon as the postal lockout was done. So shout out to Typhossi. They did me a solid, and clearly they do really amazing quality stuff. So pretty, right? Okay, so catching up with the chat. Faye says, good, because I've had those ones I showed you for over a year now. Okay, I'll talk about it, right? And JC says, those are so pretty. I agree. I love them so much. Quill says, swatching them is such a smart idea. I have been assuming all of them are see-through and being pleasantly surprised when some are actually solid. Yeah, this one's solid, right? But this is sort of semi-transparent, and this one is translucent. Yeah. Quill says it's so cohesive that it looks like it repeats, but when you look at it closely, it doesn't. Strange and awesome. Exactly, right? Exactly. Okay. This was the dark floral set. That's the set that this and the gold one that I threw away came from. So that's the rest of it. Including this beautiful little piece of stuff right there. This is the first tape I bought on my own. Well, that Erin bought for me on its own. It's bunnies and dandelions. Clearly I had to have it, right? So there'll be more of these over time, and they will fill in areas like this. I thought that looked better with the florals than with the dark rainbow, which is, celestial. I mean, like, this looks like part of that set, right? But the idea is also partially to see how I could mix and match them, for example. Right? Bunnies and dandelions, happy tears. I know, right? It's perfect. It's perfect. That one was $8 Canadian, and papier plats. They're out of Quebec. So I will link everything I talk about in the YouTube video when it gets transferred to YouTube. Okay, now I talked about this set and I showed it to you in the package last time. This is the Astro Enchantment black and gold foil. Look at this. Look at this. And this is another, this is a set that originally came from the Washi tape shop. Now, here's the thing I learned, okay? Aaron ordered this on Temu. Temu, that's where I happened to find the link that I'd sent to him. Temu is kind of like wish.com, right? Often you get crap. But this, like, I looked at who the seller was of this so that I could put it on here. And this is not crap. This is awesome, right? And this stuff came originally from the Washi tape shop. But you cannot get it at the Washi tape shop anymore because they are out of stock, right? But this was likely a factory second. How do I know that? Because when I swatched this tape, there was a section where it was just the little white plants and none of these gold leaves came through. And it confused me when I was trying to swatch it because I was looking for where does the pattern stop repeating, and it seemed very random. It was the only thing that was like that in this whole set, and it was only a small part of the tape. But companies like Typhossi and the Washi tape shop are high-end companies. They are selling beauty, right? They want to sell quality because they know that their customer base, bullet journalers, are going to spend money and time trying to make their journals beautiful. So I can see them selling the off sales on Temu at a bit of a discount, and I think that's why I found it there. So there you go. If budget is a problem for you, right, then you can find high-end sellers like the Washi tape shop on Temu and pay less. But be aware that, there is a section of this tape that I'm either going to have to use in a different way or I can't use because it has, it's misprinted. I'm cool with that. This is fine by me. So, I look at the beauty of this set. And these, you notice most of these are doubles? That's because this was too long of a section before it repeated to go across here. It would not fit. It was too long, even with the cut, taking up the whole spread. I had to put it sideways like this so that you could actually see where it, actually this way. I should show it to you. Look at that. Like, before it repeated. Just fantastic. Right? So, yeah. High recommendation from me for this. Right? There's more of them. Like, look at this beautiful city landscape here. It's hard to show because my candle's in the way, but where is it? There it is. Look at that. Look at that. Like, oh my God, is that so pretty? I don't even know what I'm going to do with that exactly yet, but I'm sure an idea will come to me. This one was invested in because I was doing, the kintsugi theme, so gold was important, and also I'm doing space as kind of my theme for my long-term journal, so plus this is a butterfly. This will get used in my butterflies theme that I'm doing later. Grow where you're planted is another theme I'm doing, so I could use the planting, like this leaf pattern, which I think is just gorgeous. And hey, look, JC, it's tentacles. I thought that was just the greatest shit. Okay. Yeah. Very happy with this set, as you can see. And it goes on even here, right? Just mountain scenes and space scenes, and I love it. This is a cheaper set that Aaron found on Temu, and it's bunnies, or the bunnies, bees. I was thinking the other one. Okay, but yes, Nikomi is the brand for this, right? This one I don't remember. I think it was like $12 for the whole box or something like that, right? And as you can see, there are much smaller sections before the design starts to repeat. I don't care. I think they're pretty and they're cute. Look at this very cute little bee face, right? Also, this honeycomb is great. This is going to be for my bee theme later on. I love the colors in this particular one. And hey, look, it's a rainbow. You can't go wrong. So, you know, they're going to get a lot of use. But, you know, just to be aware that, you know, the cheaper ones will not, I mean, like it's still doing the job, right? It's sticking just as well as the higher end tapes. It's just that the design doesn't repeat as like it's a shorter section before it repeats. So also they're not as big and they don't have foil on them. So something to keep in mind, right? But they work. So, and they work pretty well. It's cute. So again, if you're on a budget, you know, that might be a way to go. This is another set that was got on, I think Amazon, but this is Covano, and it's a vintage bees set. That's this, by the way, right? And I really, really like this. Like, I keep turning this the wrong way. Okay, so, but you can see it's got like a almost vintage film quality to it, and also this black and white in addition to the color. Something to keep in mind when you're swatching though is that this is a cream colored paper, which is different from my regular journal, which is bright white. See the comparison, right? So these may look different, especially when you're swatching pens. If you can, use the type of paper you're using in your regular journal, because the colors will look different and will smear or ghost differently depending on the paper you're using them on, right? Why I'm mentioning this here is I suspect that these will not be quite as spectacular on a plain white, because they're clearly designed to look like vintage material, right? So the rest of it will though, because it's like, you know, again, more bees. That's why this was purchased. Bees, daisies, sunflowers, honeycombs, right? More butterflies. I love it. Okay, now here's the set that I'm kind of, you know, fangirling on for the moment. This is this set, right? Which is butterflies. It's clearly the theme here. It's called Fluttering Blooms, and it is, I think, another washi tape shop. Yeah, it's another washi tape shop creation. Again, I'm not sure you can still get it at the washi tape shop. This was found on Temu. It's probably a factory second, but look at this. Like, all kinds of different sizes, huge sections of tape before they repeat. Almost every single one required the full page in double to lay them out before they repeat. Actually, every single one did. Except, yeah, every single one. Right? So, we've got these little tiny ones with like actual flowers and leaves. I was very excited about that, because generally the little tiny ones, you do have them, right, in other sets, but usually they're like, let me see here, I'll show you my waterfall tab layout. It's this kind of stuff, right? This is a plain, slightly shimmery black, which I really like, right? And then this is a, you know, blue strip with gold foil stars. Still very pretty, but nothing nearly as complex as this, right? So I was like that is great. And there's a whole bunch of them. And the color palette is interchangeable, right? These are, as you can see the lines through them, so they're gently transparent. To me, these have the quality of a watercolor painting. I am using the turquoisey blue ones now in the, like I showed you that, right, in my February layout, because they suited the palette I already had, and when I said, so Jamie, which ones of these look like pottery to you? He picked those out. So, yeah. So, excellent review from me. They stick really well. These are, you know, the washi tape shop is a place to shop if you want quality washi tape that is beautiful. And if not, look for the washi tape shop on Temu and pick up the factory seconds for yourself. So that's my advice about that. So now I'm going to check the chat again. And then once I've done that, I will answer Faye's question about what do you do with them? Because, yeah, I wasn't sure either when I first started hearing about washi tape. What do you do with them? How do you use them properly? What are they for? Right? So we will talk about that. Kit says, FYI and off topic, I rewrote my Shards of Thea article last week with commentary from Ambrosia the Mama Bunny, which is basically you in my head telling me about my own world. That's hilarious, Kit. Oh my god. That's wonderful. I'm submitting it for the World Anvil World Building Awards. That's amazing. Oh. For those who don't know, World Anvil is a world building utility. This is where most of us met in our little community. And Kit has this world that I'm a real fan of that is designed for role-playing games. He has this race of rabbit folk, and he based this Ambrosia Mama Bunny character on me. Or at least my character in Game of Tomes, right? So yeah, it's awesome. I'm very amused. You have the voice of the ghostly editor in your head too, apparently, now. It's funny as hell. Love it, Kit. That's great. I'm really honored. Okay, so what do you do with washi tape? What's it for? Washi tape is for pretty decorations. I have used it as a border to frame things, right? I've used it as labels for headers. I haven't seen anybody else use that. That might be a me thing. I might have actually come up with that on my own, right? But because other people tend to do like different things that are mostly doodle art or, you know, foligraphy with their headers, and they're beautiful and they're great, right? I just have messy handwriting, so I wanted to do something a little different. So I have done that. Right? You can use it as tape. It is masking tape, right? So you can use it to tape things in, right? As you can see here, I use this. These stickers actually cover up the other half of the tape, but I used that geometric tape from the Typhossi set to tape my little flip out key onto my weekly log, right? So decorative tape, right? This was to, I don't know, I think I did something where I made a mess in this border and I was covering up, so you can use it for a cover up, right? What else have I done with it? You can use it for art. This is sticker paper. This silver stuff that makes the water. These are stickers. The rest of this is washi tape. I just cut it into shape where I wanted it. Most of this is from that Celestial Crafting set. Right, from Michael's there. So, yeah. Let's see. What else can you do with it? Sometimes you have little sayings in it. This is actually from a sticker book, but sometimes you have those sayings like that, so you can use them for quotes. You can use them for the edging of waterfall tabs to find different pages and trackers. which is what I've done there. Depending on what you can do, you can use them for day of the week labels. I had 7 moon phases in this strip, which is a washi sticker, again from a pack. But like I said, sometimes you saw the ones with the little moon phases, right? So you can use those for a label. That's the days of the week there, right? An underline, a separator, just little framing elements. I did that a lot here. I even used the corners of different washis that I'd cut off to add to the design. You can use them to help tape down corners of things that won't stay down properly. That's what that is. Geometric framing elements. You can use them to make tabs so you can find particular things. This was made from, again, a sticker, but I've done this with a washi tape thing too. What I did is I put these together on 2 sides of the paper, but in order to make it solid so that it wouldn't like just rip or, you know, whatever, I also cut out a little tiny piece of the papers that I had cut from the like offcuts, right? That I had cut from the waterfall tab pages, right? Because I had to cut the page to make it that size, right? So I kept those and I took a little piece of that and taped it inside the tapes there so that it could be used as a solid tab. Yeah, there's a million things you can do with it, right? Decorative tape. I'm just trying to see if there's anything new that I haven't mentioned so far. You can use it to cover up mistakes. You can use it on its own to show that it is washi tape. That was the intention of this. As a background for your lettering. Again, another separator there. More separators. Yeah, I think everything else is something I've already shown you. So yes, these are many different ways that you can use washi tape. I've even seen people use like the bigger washi tapes. Like you can get washi tapes that are like that thick. And Rhymy Art's latest video, she has these beautiful peony designs. And just these big, it's just this big fat roll of washi. And she takes like big flowers and uses them for art. Like, yeah, it's stunning. So it might be, but I like it, says Faye. Kit says, I'm enjoying your hyper focus while I'm waiting for the workday to end. Yes, this is definitely my hyper focus, and it's practical. It's helping me get my shit together. So the guys are supporting me in it. They're actually buying me stuff for it. It's great. JC says, this is amazing, Sable. You could have a whole course where you have workshops with people doing a section at a time of their own. Oh, interesting. Faye says she really could. And I mean, I've been using an actual journal for 27 days. This is a new record. Right? Right? I feel bad about mine. It's like I gave up. Oh, no. Flub, hear me out, okay? Right? You're going to make, you're going to have errors, right? You're going to make mistakes. You're going to get frustrated, right? It's okay to just start again. It's like any new habit, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, if you want to keep doing it, just try it again and try a different approach, right? Like, okay, what if you'd quit riding a bike the first time that you tried riding it and it didn't work, right? You don't have to do that, You can try again. Not everybody's going to be perfect the first time they try things. God knows I've made a million mistakes in this. I don't know if you've noticed, but picking kintsugi as a theme seemed to be a good way, like I've redone just about everything on this at least once, right? This being the most dramatic example of how I covered that big mess, right? But like I had to redo the lettering on this. Like underneath this strip of washi tape, there is painted on lettering that I did not like, and I replaced it with the stickers, right? These gold lines in the washi and the cardstock here were repainted twice. You know, like, let's see, what else did I do? There's all kinds of, you see all the gold in here? This is where I wrote things wrong in the calendar. I had to cover it up with white sticker paper. Normally you wouldn't see that, but since my theme is kintsugi, I went, okay, wherever I had to make a mistake, wherever I had to like cover something up, I would draw gold framing around it like it had been a piece of pottery that had been kintsugi back in, right? So that's why those are that's not because there's special things happening on that day. It's because I fucked it up, right? You can see the ink blot here. Did you notice that until I drew attention to it? Probably not, but that's, I left part of the ink blot so you could see it, and then I did the gold framing around the sticker paper where I had to cover the numbers enough to rewrite them so you could see what number they were, right? I had to repaint this line over these about 4 times on this page because I didn't realize it wasn't quite dry. I'd flip the page, they'd stick together, right? The whole thing is like this, right? It's full of mistakes that I later fixed. So, I can't tell you how many times I had to go over this gold leaf. It's okay to fuck it up and then retry. It's okay. And if you don't like what you did and you're just so frustrated, you don't want to try any of this crap or even anything like this, you can do 2 things. One thing you could do is you could simply, draw a new title page, and start over. If it frustrates you and you don't want to look at it because it's like, it makes you upset and frustrated and it's pissing you off, then you can do a couple things with that. One is you could cut it out. You could take a craft knife, an X-Acto blade, and just cut out the pages that you don't want, right? If you can, I'll get my old journal. One sec. Okay, so you guys remember this guy? It's my first journal, right? My big chunky, I stuffed way too much crap in this journal, okay? Here in the back pages, now you can't see it that well, but yeah, there you can see it. What is all this gunk in here? It's because I was carrying it around in my bag, no doubt, but okay. Can you see how there is a strip of Scotch tape along here? Probably not that well. Here is where you can see it for sure. You can see the page coming up. That is a page that I cut out and taped down with Scotch tape. The reason why I did that is because actually I was using the page for something else. I was like making a thing. But you can do this with the page you want to get rid of too. I thought about doing that with that page that, with this page. The reason why I didn't do it is because the theme was kintsugi, and I thought seeing that it was broken and then fixed is part of the aesthetic and the feeling of the theme, right? So I didn't do that for that, but I could have. I thought about it. That's what I did here. Now, if you can, in the section that you think you messed up, right, I would cut out every second page if you can. Like, I'd look at the quote mess, right? And if it's not a mess, if you can cover it up in some way or do something else with it, like maybe, how about this, right? Why don't you take one of the pages that you messed up, right? But I'm saying alternate pages. You can cut out alternate pages. There's a cut here and a cut here. But if you cut like a whole section, it might be very difficult to tape that down so that you don't notice it. But if you cut like one page and then leave the next page and then cut the next page and leave the next page, it's really easy to tape it in a way that it won't be noticed. Or glue, right? Although I'd reinforce it with tape. You could put washi tape in it to reinforce it once you've scotch taped it. I just didn't want to draw attention to it. I wanted more room for my cards. That's why I didn't use washi in there. But that's another thing you can do. What if you've got, like, say you've got a page that you think is a complete mess and a page that is, it's kind of a mess, but you could cover it up, right? What I might do is cut out the page that's a complete mess, tape it down to the next page that's sort of a mess, right? Maybe do one of your beautiful paintings, right? Like, do like a watercolor painting that is designed, or an acrylic painting, or whatever medium you want to use, that, like, you're an artist, that you want to, design it for the size, cut a page that's the size of the page of your journal, right? And then double side tape or glue it in when the painting's dry, right? And that would be another way of covering it up, make a whole strip of washi, like the whole page can be strips of washi, and cover it up completely, right? There are many different ways you can handle it. I spent an entire month preparing my first month here before I actually started writing in it, thinking about what I was going to do, laying it out. Right, as you can see, this is considerably more simple than other things. I learned a lot while I was doing this. You're not going to get it right the first time. You have something to do that. Awesome. Cool. I am really pleased to hear it. Hey, Christ Rider, good to see you. How are you? I think perhaps this is where I'm going to call it a quits for the day. We've covered a lot of material in a very short period of time, and I don't really, I thought maybe I was going to do some more work on the end of this stream, but we're almost at, I started late, so we're almost at quitting time now. Thank you all for joining me. If you guys have any questions or, comments you want to make, now's a good time to ask me while I'm thinking about who we're going to raid and what we're up to. And hey, Rue, good to see you. How are you? Let's see here. I don't even know who's live right now. Angel in Darkness? That's cool. Okay. Travis? Good, just writing articles on World Anvil for more world building. That's awesome. Rue's keeps falling asleep, but looking forward to tomorrow. Awesome. Yes, of course you're looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow is Rue's birthday, guys. How do I know that? Because I wrote it in my long-term journal so I wouldn't forget. Let me show you. Rue. One of the ways in which this hyper-focus hobby is helping me get my shit together. So there you go. All right. thanks everyone for joining me. We're going to go right out to Angel in Darkness. Because she's a writer, she's a tome knight, she's fun, does a nice chill stream. I think you guys will enjoy it. Let's see here. Perhaps I'll try on a new raid show. Thanks for hanging out too, Kit. Always great to see you. Let's see here. How about this one? That shall be our raid show for today. I'll be back tomorrow at my usual time of roughly noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. in the UK, and 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Time for writing and editing. Love y'all. See you tomorrow or see you next week. Have a great time, sewing, everybody. Bye-bye.